It's supposed to feel.
We really going to do this?
I was
and not say anything?
I was down.
I mean, if we're going to give a Pirates performance, I guess we would just sit here and not do anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good example of what happened today.
Yeah. Well, yo. Welcome to the hodgepodge of nothingness. The NS9 post-game show. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Jimothy Rosati. Jim, what a pathetic performance today by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pathetic's a pretty good adjective to use, I guess. Well, I mean, they decided to play a doubleheader today with 0 starting pitchers, so that's one issue.
Thank God there's an off day tomorrow.
Sure. I mean,
for my mental health.
I mean, game 1, Chris Bassett just absolutely dominated them. 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. He's a good pitcher. He's fine. He's a fine pitcher. And then obviously game 2, you're facing Jacob deGrom, so you're not expecting a whole lot. But deGrom does deGrom-like things, completely shuts down the lineup. I think the Pirates had 3 hits against deGrom. Cruz had 1. Reynolds had 2. So
they had 3 hits, and they were 2 for 2 to start the game.
Yeah. Pitching performances, everyone looked terrible. And I guess Miguel Yajure apparently pitched 2 scoreless innings today. I don't remember that even happening.
He did the first game. Actually, he was probably the best pitching performance of the day.
Yeah. So I just saw that actually. I actually just saw that now. I do not remember Miguel Yajure pitching whatsoever.
He did. It was effective. But I mean, coming from a guy who has a 9 ERA coming into the game, you weren't expecting too much. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the first game, like you mentioned, it was like outside the 1 inning. It was an okay game. I mean, again, we're comparing the first game to the second one. So keep that in perspective. The first game out of the 1 inning, which, I think was a 4-run inning there.
Yeah.
Bryce Wilson,
he gave up a 3-run homer to Tyler Naquin. And then Escobar followed with a homer as well. So back-to-back homers.
Naquin just wrecked the Pirates last year too, I believe. Wasn't that him with all the grand slams maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah, with the Reds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, and just a pathetic performance. And it was these games were lost before they even started. I mean, Dwayne Underwood Jr. and Johan Oviedo are your 2 starting pitchers in this doubleheader, facing 2 guys who, are all-star pitcher. One's an all-star, one's a Cy Young caliber, and one's a Cy Young guy. I mean, probably the best pitcher of our generation, to be honest with you. These games were over before they started.
I guess here's my 2 cents of what you're saying. It was on paper 2 starts by relievers, but all in all, again, I get where you're coming from, but all in all, the first game really was Dwayne Underwood was using an opener. It was a Bryce Wilson's
Whose
start.
bright idea was that?
You are given terrible things. You got to make the best of it. It's Bryce Wilson. So maybe going against this Mets to try to put Bryce Wilson in the best possible situation, use an opener for him. Now, what options do you have at opener? Well, there's not many. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like when you're given as a manager bad things to work with, you're going to have bad results typically. So that's just kind of where I'm at. I mean, Bryce Wilson wasn't good. Dwayne Underwood wasn't good. And there was your 5 runs right off the bat. And it was a 5-0 or 5-1 game. But it's like, it was a Bryce Wilson start. It was just, they used the opener for him. The problem is Bryce Wilson just isn't good. And this is a Mets lineup that is good. So again, like when Mitch Keller shuts them down, that was impressive last night because you see what they can do today. And Bryce Wilson isn't a good pitcher. He's not. And the problem is none of the guys that they performed in the second game are either. I mean, we can talk about Oviedo, we will a little bit, but Beatty is just awful. Zach Thompson is just awful. Ramirez is awful. These guys are awful. And you had to see all of them because Oviedo is the guy that started and he couldn't even last you 2 innings.
I want to go back to Oviedo a little bit here.
Yeah, I do.
The dude's not a starting pitcher. Like, plain and simple, he doesn't throw enough strikes to be a starting pitcher. Let him be a bullpen guy. Give him 1 inning at a time. Let him go all out for that 1 inning. He's the slowest pitcher I've seen since Antonio Bastardo, I think. It took him like 4 hours to get those 5 outs that he got.
Well, I mean, that's also because he allowed about 15 base runners.
But he was also like, it was like 47 seconds in between every pitch. It was just, he was so slow. And it's like, dude's not a starter. Like, he's not a starting pitcher. I get like the fascination with the stuff. The stuff looks good. And it's like, well, you know, if he could be a starter, but he's not. He walks too many people. You've got to put him in the bullpen. You've got to put him in a position where like he has a chance to succeed. Because starting games isn't that spot.
I'm with you. It's last time Tyler and I were talking, I think, about his start. Man, I was intrigued. I was really intrigued. And it's a situation of this being a bad roster where, you know what, he's very intriguing. There's not like there's any guys out there that's truly that much better than him anyways. Why not give him the opportunity? Why not let him go out there? But you saw the concerns last time out, and this time it was even worse. So I think, I mean, ultimately, even back then, I think ultimately he's set for the bullpen. And the thing that excites me is he is nasty. And I think you can see that he could be a really good bullpen guy. Of course, the ceiling is if he can be a good or solid or just decent starter. And we're seeing less and less that that's going to come to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, he's now at 8 walks in 4 2/3 innings.
Right. And the thing is, too, like, if that first, I say start, it was, 3 innings that first time? But his first start, it was really that 1 inning. And again, it was only 3, so it was a third of a start. But again, like, hear me out. It was really that 1 inning that things fell apart with him. The first inning of that last start, he actually looked pretty crisp. Really good. And then he actually finished it at the 3rd inning pretty crisp as well. I think it was that second one that things just kind of fell apart for him. So that's why I left him like, you know what? 2/3 of it was actually good. Let's maybe build upon it. Let's see. I'm going to give him some little more of a release here. Today he went 1.2, walked 4. I'm sorry, walked 5. Like, he literally walked a guy in with bases loaded. Yeah, you're seeing more of a reliever out of him.
Yeah, the dude's a reliever. Not a starter. The rest of this team is, as far as the pitching staff goes, like I'm looking at everybody who pitched today. 8 different Pirates pitched today. None of these 8 guys should be in the major leagues.
Well, Oviedo should, as a reliever.
On a bad team.
Mm.
Because he wasn't in the majors when he was on the good team.
But maybe an average team. I mean, he was on the team, just not the entire time. I'm still open for Oviedo. I still have a lot of hope. I think, again, like his stuff is very, very nasty. He'll certainly be on the team next year for the Pirates.
4 out of 5 guys who pitched
the bullpen
in the second game have been DFA'd at some point.
Yeah. And the guy who got the bulk of the innings made his debut at 27 years old after he was DFA'd like throughout the minors.
Right. Yeah.
Like he weren't even good enough for our minor league depth. And he hooked on to the Marlins and had a really, really good 2 starts. Had a decent, rest of the season. And then Charrington said, you know what? We got a Gold Glove catcher. Yeah. I'm going to gift that to you for this guy. So he can give us 5.24 ERA. 5.17 FIP, I believe, top of my head. It's just the pitching is it's just so bad. But the roster is just so bad. Again, like what's been given to this 26-man roster is just it's pathetic.
I want you to list. So this is Tyler Beatty's last 6 outings. Runs given up last 6 times out. 7 actually. Last 7 games. 4, 0, 2, 4, 6, 2, and 2. The dude has given up multiple runs in 6 of his last 7 times on the mound. Every time.
It's bad. So again, like, what's all this Clay Holmes stuff? What's all this Tyler Beatty is good stuff? I didn't understand it at first. Again, it was one of those things where you know what he's producing like he's to the Chase DeYoung effect, but Chase DeYoung is still a much better pitcher. He's giving you production, but I'm not buying into it at all. And you're seeing why, because it's caught up with him, much like Zach Thompson, right? Like there was a stretch where Zach Thompson was giving you production, but buyer beware. And it all came down crashing on Zach Thompson as well. I never understood the BD hype. I still don't understand the Chase DeYoung. I don't, but he's still doing it. So I'll give him a little bit there. But again, like 2023 buyers beware on Chase DeYoung is where I'm at. But anyways, yeah, like the pitching is just awful. Oviedo now skyrockets to a 3.9 ERA, 1.2 innings pitched, that 4 earned runs. Thompson's up to a 5.24 ERA. Beatty's to a 5.16 ERA. Ramirez at a 6.04 ERA. I mean, this is the bullpen. This is the bullpen that's good, Jim. Remember, the bullpen is actually good. Don't sleep. The parts now are good. 3rd worst in baseball since that statement was made. And that was before today. So it could be the second worst.
Yeah, it's amazing that they're actually teams worse than the Pirates. Like I can't even like when I look at the Detroit Tigers and like the runs scored, like the Detroit Tigers have scored 30 less runs than the Pirates. I don't even know how that's happened. How is that even possible at this point? And then, like you mentioned, bullpens. Like they're actually 1 or 2 bullpens worse than ours. Like it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of bad teams, but right. Anyways, can we say something positive?
Sure.
It's very negative, but it's positive. I mean, someone's life was affected today. So I'm sorry, but
I was going to say this should have been
Josh
should have
Van
been like
Meter
a
was DFA
celebration.
today.
Today should have been a celebration. Josh
It
Van
was during the
Meter
national anthem.
designated for assignment September 7th. Somehow he made it all the way to September 7th after being signed, or I guess it was traded for technically, like the day before the season started.
He's DFA'd by
he lasted
Diamondbacks,
this.
and then
He lasted this long. It's incredible. I can't believe that. Like, kudos to him for just somehow fleecing the Pirates out of like $600,000.
Seriously, like if there was one person in the United States of America that needed to celebrate Labor Day, it was him, because he made it to Labor Day, and boy, did he earn. I mean, well, he didn't earn it, but that was something to celebrate for him.
Yeah,
because I'm with you. Like, there was no way that he should have lasted past April.
He shouldn't have been on he shouldn't have been on the opening. Like, there was no reason to get him in the first place.
He shouldn't have. Right. But with that said, there's no way he should have lasted through April. And then it was May. And then it was June. And it was okay with the trade deadline. And then that came and went. And here we are, September 7th. Finally happened. So Josh Van Meter is no longer part of the team. But they get Hoyt Park up now. So again, it's just like, all right, great.
But you know what? I'd rather watch Hoyt Park than Josh Van Meter.
I would rather, but it's not like, again, we're setting the bar too high. And it's not, again, as if here's someone that deserves it, right? Here's someone who didn't deserve playing time, and they kept getting it until they finally didn't got DFA. But again, he didn't deserve the playing time. He was getting it. There's guys that deserve it. There's guys that have earned it. And there's guys that should be getting it, and they're not. And for all this stuff, this is why we kept talking the whole offseason. I keep bringing up this point. You know, one side of the mouth is saying this, and the other side is doing this, and they don't match up. Well, these guys are going to earn their stuff. They're going, they're going to make their own path based on their stuff, what they're doing. And then here you go and have guys that are doing that, and they get to watch Josh Van Meter take the nice plane ride, get the nice meals, earn the nice decent paycheck while he's doing nothing. And they're down there producing, taking the bus ride, eating ham sandwiches.
Don't sleep on ham sandwiches, though.
I'm saying, like, no, that's
like a hot ham and cheese sandwich from Hardee's.
No, hold up. No, not from Hardee's. It's just straight lunch meat on the Wonder Bread.
No. You got to go to get the Hardee's hot ham and cheese.
They can't afford that. I mean, hopefully soon when they become in the union,
it's probably like,
but they can't go to Hardee's.
You're right. Yeah, Hardee's.
They're going to Hungry's.
Hardee's is definitely like towards the top of the price when it comes to fast food chains too.
Right. And that stuff fills you up. That thing's got calories, lets you going. They can't be doing that. But anyways, again, like, that's just where we're at. So he's DFA'd. Hoyt Park comes up because Hoyt Park's clearly earned his promotion opposed to other people who aren't earning it. But regardless, yeah, so there's that. Josh Meter finally DFA'd. Won't have to see him unless no one else claims him and the Pirates outright him. And I saw you're sharing your Hardee's screen. Oh, I can see where this show's going tonight. Yeah. We're going way left.
Look at this.
See, there it is, the hot ham and cheese. Travis Swaggerty wishes he could get that. Yeah, but anyways, all right. So we celebrate. We said our good stuff. Let's get back to the negativity. So the Pirates, they allowed 17 hits in the second game, 7 walks, 24 base runners compared to their 5. All right, back to some positivity. So Oneil Cruz, as you said,
yeah, went 3 for 8.
He led off.
Yeah,
I was gonna say he led off to DeGrom. I want to get to the fact that they let Oneil Cruz play against DeGrom. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. He earned the right to take on that challenge. They gave it to him. And you know what? He got a hit.
1 for 3 with a single and a strikeout. That's against the best pitcher in baseball.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a pop up to the catcher.
Did his thing. Yeah.
Which I got to say, McCann, I thought he was going to drop that. Do you remember that when he?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. McCann was up going, and it was like he totally misjudged the ball. I mean, it ended up being like 2 feet behind him. He had to reach back like this to get it, and he did snag it. So I want to see Oneil stay at the plate. But anyways, yeah, 1 for 3, 1 strikeout, and a pop up. So against Jacob deGrom. I mean, that's something to go home and say, you know what? Yes, today I went 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts second game, but I went 1 for 3 to deGrom. Like, hey, I can do it. I belong. Build up that confidence. But get back to the whole day, like you said, 3 for 8.
Yeah, I mean, going back to it, like last night we talked about how he was just looking more and more comfortable. I felt like today he looked comfortable at the plate. All 3 hits were singles. He didn't really do anything like otherworldly today that, we've seen him do in the past week. But no, I mean, anytime you can 3 for 8, what is that? 375 batting average? Rough math. 3 divided by 8. 375. Yeah, yep. There you go. It's Hall of Fame numbers right there, DiNardo. Ted Williams couldn't even do that.
That's right. And on September 7th, Josh Van DFA day, Oneil Cruz did.
Yep.
But here's what I'll go down to. So again, just tallying this up because I just feel like as long as he stays in the leadoff role, we're going to keep doing this and just kind of see because this is kind of showing what our theory was, right? And again, you and Tyler definitely kept really pounding the table about this of getting him, in the top or middle part of the lineup, and they went right to the top at leadoff spot. So since being in the leadoff spot, he's now gotten 43 at bats, 45 plate appearances. He is batting 302, 333, 651. I mean, really, you could say those are Hall of Fame numbers too, Jim. Just saying. Ted Williams did bat better than 302, but you had that slugging in there of everything. But no, anyways, I mean, Oneil, like you said, has looked comfortable. He has an actual person behind him, like Josh. Jeez, no, not Van Brian Reynolds. Right? Yeah. Like we were kind of talking about this. So we're just gonna keep this going. I want to keep an eye on this. He's still performing. Today he's still performing. We knew last night's big game. Today 3 for 8. He's adding on top of it. So like you are seeing a better Oneil Cruz. I'm liking this.
Well, and again, like he faced good pitching today too. Like Chris Bassett and Jacob deGrom are 2 of the better pitchers you're going to see back to back.
True.
So, yeah, good to see.
Yeah, good point. It's not as if he did this against like some scrubs or whatever. Did find some good pitching. Now he did get made look silly at the end with Claudio being a lefty, of course, and Claudio gave him the slider down and away to make that 3rd strikeout. It's still there, right? But again, we're looking at overall, and he's still looking better. The strikeout rate has definitely come down.
Yeah,
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Yep.
I really don't know where else to go with this.
There's nowhere
everything
else to go.
I hate being so negative. That's why last night was so fun that we got to talk, be excited. You saw the offensive outburst. You saw the amazing things Cruz was doing, Castro is doing, and today it was just a complete opposite.
Yeah, I mean, like even Castro today was 0 for 6. Yeah, it just wasn't like, I mean, Cruz and Reynolds and Chavis had a decent first game, I guess you could say. Greg Allen had 2 hits today.
Credit where credit's due, as I keep saying here. Greg Allen, not a good baseball player, but Greg Allen did have a good game. I definitely got to hand him that. He did go for 2. He had 2 hits in the first game.
The speed helped him get 1 hit
just
in the second. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my bad. Well, anyways, with that first hit, it was the speed that led him to the double. Most guys would got a single, so he was able to stretch it out. He made two that I know of, two really good defensive plays.
Made some good plays. Yep.
So I saw someone say like they would rather have Van Meter than Greg Allen, and I completely disagree with that. I mean, both are bad baseball players, but like at least there is skill in Greg Allen. It's the wheels, and the wheels help him on the base paths and defensively. So at least he can be an asset somewhere. Josh Van Meter didn't know where the base was.
I guess I'd rather have Greg
Again, I'm
Allen
not
than
advocating
Van
for Greg
Meter.
Allen. Again, like don't take this as that. I'm just saying, like, but at least
like if you're
positive
making
things that you can talk about with Greg Allen. It's simply because of the speed.
Yeah.
But again, credit where credit's due. He did, stretch out to get a double. He did make some really good defensive plays today. So at least there's that. We never really talked about anything that Josh Van Meter did positively. So
nope.
Cal Mitchell, he didn't make, he got the out, but he made that outfield look very interesting today. Twice that I know of. And he is an outfielder. And we're talking about guys that are, being put in the outfield that, aren't outfielders, and like just get a damn outfielder out there for how long this season. And like they have now with Cal Mitchell. And, maybe there is a reason to put him at first base because we talk about how weak the arm is, and it's not an outfield arm, and he's not really showing that he got the glove out there either. So not that the bat plays at first either.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's no reason to figure out a way to get Cal Mitchell on the field.
I just feel I feel like I'm with you with the eye test and everything, but he's had such a great year at AAA. I also don't want to give up too early on him, but it's been so bad in the majors also.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that like he can't become a fourth outfielder one day. He is still 23. Like he's got some time, but like Cal Mitchell's not a guy where you're trying to knock down walls to get playing time at this point.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And that I agree with. But it has been awful so far for the majors for him. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I guess I can take away I like to hype him up, right? He's not that good of a player, but he finds ways to get talked about. Well, Jason DeLay had the golden sombrero today. So he went over 3 strikeouts that second game. So we can't talk about Jason DeLay tonight either. So I don't know where we're taking the show right now because it's just going to be more shit talking.
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
who cares? We lost your sound. Can't hear you. Which honestly is fine. Still can't hear you. So while DiNardo's trying to figure out.
Somehow I muted.
Oh, there you are. But you're not on your head. You're not on your mic anymore.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
I think it's telling us to wrap it up.
It's time. Yeah.
All right. So sorry, everyone had to hear this. You didn't have to, though. You could have easily just tuned out like I think most of you did.
I wanted to do this post-game show in like the 4th inning.
I'm not allowed.
You wouldn't let me.
And this is a true story. Jim was like, let's just hop out and do it now. I was like, the game's not over. You're like, we're not going to say the score. We're just going to talk and just pretend like the game's over.
It would have been fine.
Now, in hindsight, that probably would have worked. But
yeah.
My biggest thing was like, the thing is Oneil Cruz is going to like launch a 3-run homer in the 8th inning, and we won't talk about it. And at least I can talk about that.
But no, like we could have been like, I mean, Oneil Cruz may or may not have done something today later on, but
I was going to say that, people don't want to hear that. Like that doesn't provide anything, but no one wants to hear this either. So we probably should have.
Yeah.
All right. So again, tomorrow's an off day. The Pirates return on Friday. They will play the Cardinals once again at 6:35 start. And guess what day it is, Jim?
Roansy Day on Friday.
It is.
Friday. Yeah.
It is. So maybe there'll be something good and positive we get to talk about. Be a different type of show. I'm hopeful. I'm thankful. Also, Michaelis is pitching.
Michaelis.
So
also Sunday is Quintana.
Sunday.
Quintana Keller.
Oh, that's right. Q returns.
Yeah.
Are you a Q believer?
Q.
Do you think he'll continue his streak
Keller.
for the Cards?
My guess is it's going to be pretty easy for him to continue his 2 runs or less streak.
Yeah. Not a tough task. All right. We've been saying we're going to get out of here. Let's just do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for listening if it's the podcast. And again, we'll be back on Friday. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
See you guys.